What's good? Live from Radio Row, live on behalf of our friends over at Factor Meal Kits. It's unbelievable what's going on at Factor. Of course, you got to check it out for yourself. Factor Meal Kits. Head over to factormeals.com/PHNX cards 50. You'll get 50% off your order using that code PHNX cards 50. Don't use Suns. Don't use Coyotes. Don't use any of those dirty other shows here on PHNX. Use us. Apologies for the delay.
Yeah.
We were a little busy talking to one top tight end here in the desert, Trey McBride. That's right. It's a Trey day.
Ever heard of him?
It's exciting. And what Trey dropped with us just a few moments ago, which you'll see here shortly, you don't want to miss out on that. Also, you don't want to miss out on 1,000-yard rusher James Conner. He's expected to join the show.
I'm so hyped about this.
That's right around 2 o'clock. And then just the unbelievable wealth of knowledge who is just being pulled in all different directions here. But he's our guy from the All-City NFL show, Baldy. Brian Baldinger is going to sit down here and talk some ball with us. Man. It's great.
It's going to be fantastic. I'm a little self-conscious today because, obviously if you remember yesterday's show, we had a little snafu behind us. And I forgot to put on a belt today. And so I keep making sure that my shirt is long enough to cover my backside because I don't want to be exposed like my man behind us was yesterday.
It's you're in a very vulnerable state here with open back chairs and without something that's going to keep your pants up tight.
But also, like, the amount of celebrities, professional athletes that are here right now, I definitely don't want to show my ass at all.
I mean, you often do sometimes just by opening your mouth, but it's physically showing your ass. Hey, it's day 3.
All right.
We're playing hurt after a big media night last night.
Showing your ass right now. All right.
Having a couple drinks, but we're having a great time. If you love the coverage, hit like on this video, subscribe to PHNX Sports, and check out all the great content we already have up on our YouTube page. I believe the Frank Caliendo interview is up there, but we're gonna show you that during the show today. But also have Trey McBride and all the other great guests coming up. But I talked to Thomas Dimitroff, who spent some time in the New England Patriots organization, Saul, yesterday, and that interview is going to come later this week. But he was there with Monti Ossenfort, and I'm going to spoiler alert. He's got a lot of confidence that Ossenfort's the guy for this rebuild.
Oh, yeah, 1,000,000%. I was able to catch the tail end of it. Bo was one-on-one with him. But some of the characteristics that he was talking about, Monty, the main one is just his work ethic. It is just undeniable. And that by itself tells you, like, he's going to do his homework. He's going to make sure that he squeezes every little, drop of blood out of that stone to get this franchise to an elite level. And listen, the first draft that he had set the tone. And there was a little part of me that was a little fearful that, like, man, can he replicate that? Because he basically hit on every single one of those picks. And the more and more you hear about Monty, the more and more you like, and the more and more it just kind of reinforces that was not a one and done fluke. That this is the real deal, and it can be sustained over a course of time.
What a just stark difference the current GM is from the previous GM, and that's not taking any shots. It's not an ultimate indictment on Steve Keim, but what has been communicated to me is, and it's just all just nice things said about Monty, is he's not going to be a guy that's going to go out. He's not going to be a guy that's going to not put in the work. He's in his office at all hours. He's a tape junkie. He's watching and scouting all the players, including potential free agents, because that's one of the biggest parts here. Like, the Arizona Cardinals are in such dire need of talent on this roster, and you should be encouraged from what they did last season, but they need to upgrade, especially the defensive front, and that takes watching tape. We've had some conversations here with some very intelligent football minds from our friends over at CHGO and DMVR as far as, who hit in free agency last year. And there was a couple players at key positions, and one got paid more. And, one GM said, hey, I didn't see that on tape. That's why we didn't offer that guy a contract. And it turned out, some of his statistics were a little,
inflated.
Inflated, empty calories, if you would. And that's the biggest thing about free agency too, is like it can be fool's gold. Yeah. Like he's like, hey, this guy looks like a really attractive free agent. Look at his numbers, but when you turn on the tape, and I think that's going to be the difference between Monti Ossenfort and some of the guys in this league, and why you should have confidence that he's going to use your salary cap money wisely, and he's also going to, for a second straight year, use all that draft capital to kind of bolster this roster.
I should make a shirt that says "fuck those numbers," to be honest with you, because I'm a big proponent of what you see on tape, and the matter of which you see it is more important than what the statistics tell you, right?
Yeah.
You could have one catch for 75 yards in the first quarter and a touchdown, and then have 8 other catches for 10 yards, but it looks like you had 9 catches for 118 yards.
Right.
And that's just not the same thing. And so I think there's definitely merit to that. And again, I think a guy like Monti will sift through all the tape to make sure that what you're paying for is worth what you're going to get back. And I just do not doubt that they will do that at every single level with every single player moving forward. And I bet that's kind of a mantra throughout that organization to the scouts. Hey, don't bring somebody to the table that I take a look at and I'm like, okay, they got measurables, but what did he do against Alabama? Oh, he had 1 catch for 3 yards? Fucking great. I don't care if he broke a record at, Sam Houston State. So that's the kind of stuff that I want to see.
The McAfee show is just about
right over there.
a little sand wedge from us right here on Radio Row, and there's they just exploded. I don't know what's going on over there, but we appreciate everybody tuning in. No, I completely agree. That's I think Monti Ossenfort separates himself from the crowd of GMs in by what he does as far as examining tape and diagnosing who's going to be a guy in free agency that's going to be able to help our defensive front. And Johnny Venerable has it sourced that's where the Arizona Cardinals are intending to spend money. I think that they're absolutely going to get out and get somebody on the cornerback market. You got to help maybe get a starting caliber corner and then start to fill in holes and draft and develop beyond that and really start to rebuild this thing. And this is the fun part, man. This is the fun part. You endured the worst of this. You bottomed out in Cleveland with that brutal performance in that 1 week that you had to get between Joshua Dobbs and Kyler Murray, and you had to, wear it with Clayton Tune, and he was the sacrificial lamb and stuff, and I think that was the lowest point of this thing. And then since Kyler came back, everything is just kind of now back on the up and up.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. This is the funnest part. Listen, I don't know when the last time I was excited about the offseason was, because I was worried about what the hell we were going to fuck up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's just point blank what it is. I think at the beginning of the Keim era, it was a little bit opposite, where we felt like, okay, we had the phrase Keim time for a while, and, he would make moves in free agency and trades that relatively worked out. And then the second half of that didn't. And it just was like, okay, well, now we're just grasping at straws, trying to take these flyers on older players or other players that, again, numbers told you a different story than their actual production. And I'm not trying to bury Hollywood Brown. I love Hollywood Brown, but he's an example of that. He got traded here. We thought he was going to perform at a different level than we actually got. And so was the money worth it? You could probably argue a case that to a large degree, no, it wasn't. You didn't get what you paid for with Hollywood Brown. So I don't think this regime is going to take those kind of gambles anymore, and they're going to definitely feel confident that they're well thought out, they're well vetted, and the money that they're putting forward is going to be used wisely.
PHNX Valley champs, Saul, Bo, look behind you. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
He's back.
He is back.
Hopefully his backside's not back.
But he's good. My boy's wearing a belt today, so we're okay. We're okay.
It's a drinking game.
Listen, I did double check.
Anytime you see crack, you take a drink, right?
I did double check, so, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, absolutely. See Step in there. Eli, what's going on? Didi, Boosty, Jakai in the chat. Everybody, we love you joining us here live from Radio Row. We'll get into, the Frank Caliendo interview. That's going to be coming up here shortly. But before that, we're going to talk to Trey McBride. But, of course, we need to tell you about our great friends over at Factor Meal Kits. Of course, Factor, it's a speedy, delicious, ready-to-eat meal that's making eating better every day so much easier. Like, you think it's tough to eat healthy, and Factor's like, we're going to take out all the heavy lifting for you. Like, basically, all you have to do is grab a Factor meal out of your refrigerator, throw it in the microwave, it's heated up, and boom, you've got a delicious meal. 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, plus veggie, and more. Don't miss out on that. The 55 nutrition-packed add-ons as well. 2-minute meals, snacks, smoothies, everything you can think about. For somebody like myself, Saul Bookman, Damon Dog, Mac Perkins, everybody who's just put poison in their body the last 3 days, we need to get back to our Factor meals and get back on track, and I can't wait to do so. You need to do as well. Go to factormeals.com/PHNXcards50, and that code's going to save you 50% off your first box and 2 free wellness shots per box while the subscription is active. That code is PHNXcards50 for factormeals.com/PHNXcards50.
Listen, there's a lot of junk food around. We've been stuffing our faces with wings just about every single day. But the food at the media party was pretty legit.
Yeah.
And, a lot of those media members are going to be covering the Super Bowl. But, if you want to come out to the big game, you should go buy tickets. And the one place to go get tickets is Game Time. That's like the best place to get tickets. So whether you're coming to the big game or you want to stay home and you want to watch the Suns play locally because they're the biggest show in town, big win against the Bucks last night, you got to go to Game Time. It's the single best place to get all your tickets. It's not even a question. If you're going to come out to the big game, you can get up to $100 off by using code Vegas100. That is for the big game. And then also you can save yourself $20 if you're going to buy any tickets in the Phoenix area, whether that be spring training's coming up. You want to go to the Waste Management Open this week? It starts today. You can do that. The Suns games, I mean, you name it. The Yotes are playing. You can save yourself $20 by using promo code PHNX. So check them out, the Game Time app. Download it today.
Hey, big thank you to Saul Bookman for giving us a big fat winner yesterday with the Suns over the Bucks. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
That helped build our stack out here.
The overhit
in Vegas. It absolutely did. We see you, Boosty, in the chat. First time catching you guys live during your time in Vegas. Have been loving the shows this week. Great work. Guys, thank you so much. It's already incredible what's going on behind the scenes between what Mac's doing on social media, what Damon's doing behind the scenes as our producer.
Squad.
Yeah. We have a very talented squad, and it's going to get even deeper later tonight as Johnny Venerable makes his way from across the desert.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, JV's going to be back on the show tomorrow, but he's devastated. I think I called him before we did this interview. To say, hey, man, I got some bad news for you. We're excited for you to come out, but you're going to miss out on your favorite player on the Arizona Cardinals right now, Trey McBride. We caught up with Trey Day. Here's our interview. Excited to get this guy on here. Had a historic season for the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, our guy, Saul Bookman. He's been Trey Day since day one.
Since day one.
Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals tight end. Unbelievable season, man. Congratulations on that. It was just an honor for me to cover you throughout that. Anytime I felt like I talked to you about numbers, you're like, I don't really care about the numbers, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I don't really, I just kind of go out there and play, and whatever happens, happens. And I had no idea about most of that stuff. I was just out there playing, and whatever happened.
Right.
And it ended up being pretty good, so it all worked out.
What was the biggest jump, like from year one to year two? Obviously, the playing time helps, but like it just seemed like at a certain point this season, boom, it clicked, and you just took off.
Yeah, I think it was just a lot of it was playing time, getting the opportunity to go out there and do what I do. And most of all, it's just experience, to get out there to play, to have that time with Kyler. He's a different quarterback, so he does a lot of different things than the other guys did. So just to have that time with him, the connection, that chemistry with one another, I think it just kind of came, and then once it hit. So.
But it was instant. It was instantaneous. He gets back, and everybody's joking. Jonathan Gannon's saying in the press conference, is like, hey, I told Kyler maybe temper those expectations, and he laughed in my face. And then Kyler, and you come out and ball out. You've got 10 catches, 131. You're making, the big catch, big reception there to set yourself up for that game-winning field goal.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. You know, just Kyler, really, I don't know why. He just kept coming back to me. He kept throwing me the ball. And, you know, that play at the end of the game really sticks out to me. He threw that real high corner, came back to it, caught it, and that kind of sealed it up for Matt to kick the chip shot in. But that was so cool, man, just to have Kyler have that trust in me to give me an opportunity. His first game back was very special.
Yeah, did you guys work together in the offseason at any point? Just try and get some of that stuff down? I know he wasn't fully, you know, because he was still coming back from the ACL.
You know, you always try to work with those guys, but with him coming back from the knee, he was doing a lot of stuff one-on-one. You know, it was more working with Colt McCoy when he was on the team, you know, Clayton when he was there and stuff. So just working with those guys, trying to get the chemistry with them because we weren't sure when we were going to have Kyler back. And, you know, as soon as he came back, he gave me a chance, and, you know, I took it and ran. So it was fun.
Yeah. You said in that press conference, you know, you feel like nobody can guard you. We love that confidence. I mean, it was almost surprising to hear you say that in the presser, but we loved every second of it, and then it just continued to show up throughout the rest of the season. There were so many highlight plays. You mentioned, you know, the 31-yard catch where you made the adjustment, came back.
Yeah.
There's the hurdle.
Yeah.
Can you take us through what the hell went through your mind when you decided to leap over a defender?
I got the screen, and then I was shaking it up the middle, and the safety was there. I knew I was pretty close to a first down. I didn't know what I had to do. I actually had a little banged up shoulder, so I knew I wasn't going to hit him and run him over. And I thought, oh, well, the only other option is to go up and over. I went up and over, and it worked out for me. Tried it a few more times. It didn't, you know, work out as clean as the first one, but that was something that just kind of instantaneously, you know, came up, and I just did it, and it worked out. So
I felt like you really dominated that Pittsburgh game.
Yep.
And that, to me, I was just like, oh, this dude fucking arrived right here, man. Like, take me through that last touchdown before halftime.
Yeah.
You know, it's wet.
The second one?
It's rainy.
You know,
Yeah,
that
the
he had to
second one.
get?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
You know, it's wet. It's drizzly. It's Pittsburgh. You know, it's a legendary place. Like, what was going through your mind when you scored that touchdown? Because you were hyped on the field for sure.
Yeah, so I scored the first one, actually, and then it wasn't raining at the time. We scored the first one, and then they were reviewing it. It took 10 minutes. It felt forever, but it was probably about 5 minutes.
It was a touchdown, by the way.
Yeah, so it started, and that time it started pouring, so I actually took my gloves off, and I put on new gloves, rain gloves, in that little adjustment between the first and the second one, and then they came back to me the next play. Kyler called another play. He said, I'm throwing you the ball if it's man-to-man. He threw me the ball, and, you know, I got it in again, and then I was all hyped up, you know, trying to tell the ref that I had to score twice for him. And, you know, I was all fired up that game, but that was just a cool, you know, huge momentum right before half.
Yeah.
I just love the wide array of catches that you're making because even those two plays back-to-back, it's like you're making the play at the back of the end zone where you're going up, you know, on that drive, you had high-pointed one. Yeah. And then the next one, you're boxing out. I got to imagine you take an immense pride in how versatile your game is.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to, you know, do everything at the highest level. I want to be a great run-blocking tight end. I want to be a guy who can be a mismatch in the pass game, and that's what I'm striving to be. I think, you know, the better you are at run blocking, the more open you're going to be. And Kyler, just getting on the same page with him, he's knowing how I'm going to run routes, and he's throwing me the ball when I'm open, and it's been a lot of fun. And I hope that we can continue to grow together and have a great career together.
Yeah, I love that development. You know, one of the things that I noticed about you at the Senior Bowl, when that was the first time I got to see you in person, heard a lot about you beforehand. Obviously, you were an All-American. You were one of the best tight ends in the country. But, you know, watching you play, I was surprised because there's other tight ends that are bigger, taller, right? But you were so fundamentally sound in terms of your route running, knowing exactly when to break and use your body to get away from defenders. In terms of the development from the Senior Bowl to the pro level, what kind of adjustments have you had to make in terms of because the athletes are obviously much better in the NFL.
Yeah, the speed of the game is a lot faster, obviously, and most of all, it's just knowing how to use your leverage, how to get open. You know, maybe you run a route on the paper, but it's not how you actually run it in the game. It's not 10 yards and out. Maybe it's 8 yards because that's when you're open. Maybe it's 12 yards. You know, and that's just being on the same page of the quarterback and knowing, you know, what we're going to do, what he's going to do, where he's going to throw me the ball, and then I just have to go and get open for him.
Is there anything in the works for you guys to get together this offseason? Maybe go down to Texas and work out with Kyler?
Yeah, that's kind of a plan. I think that would be great. You know, we're trying to get something together where we can all get together, you know, maybe throw some routes, things like that. But, yeah, that's something that I really look forward to.
Yeah, I really love the Jonathan Gannon era now that has been implemented. You guys played so hard all season on both sides of the ball, you know, and the results weren't there in terms of wins and losses, but I really did feel like there was a vast improvement. And tell me if I'm wrong on this. It felt like from 1 to 53, guys were into every single game, regardless of what the score was. They just felt like they were always there.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like, you know, he's building that culture from the ground up and making our you know, making us what we want to be. We're a tough team. We're a physical team. And we're, like you said, we're in every single game.
Yeah.
Our record wasn't, you know, what we wanted it to be, but I think we're a few possessions, few plays away from being the opposite record, you know, a 10-17, whatever that is, and things like that. But we're really close. We're not far off. And with Jonathan Gannon and Kyler at the helm, I think we have a great career, and I'm super excited for the future of this organization.
3-5 when Kyler came back. Probably should be 4-4, right? A 500 ball. It seems like there was a ton of momentum, and I know JG doesn't like to talk about momentum, but look, it was real. We'll say it, not him. But, I mean, what's the perception now for you for Kyler Murray? But one of the best quarterbacks in the league? Yeah,
I think he's a franchise guy. He's a guy who's proven it, and a guy who, you know, he's a leader of this organization, and he's a guy that he's got my back, I got his, and I'm excited to continue to play with him, to continue to grow. And I think that he's the guy, and he's going to take us to the promised land.
A lot of guys talk about like a catchable ball. I've never played wide receiver or tight end in the NFL, so I don't know what the hell that feels like. How's Kyler's ball when it comes towards you?
You know, I was catching it all this whole year, and it was phenomenal. He throws a great ball. He has so many different arm angles. He throws like a baseball player. He rolls out. He throws sidearm. I mean, this guy does it all. He's a tremendous athlete and someone that at all times you got to be ready for the ball because you don't know what he's going to do.
How much do you pay attention to the draft? You got 4th overall pick, 27th overall pick. There's a playmaker out of Ohio State. It'd be a pretty nice compliment to 85 in the Cardinals offense to have a 6'4" playmaker out there.
Yeah,
Marvin
no doubt.
Harrison.
Yeah, Marvin's a great player. Obviously, I've seen the film, and everyone's talking about him. And, you know, if we get him and we are able to draft him, I think that would be a great pick. And I'm super excited for whoever we get. It's going to be awesome. But, yeah, he would definitely help out, no doubt.
You still follow your Colorado State Rams?
Absolutely, man, those guys.
Because there's a sleeper to me for next year because he ended up going back, Torrey Horton.
Yeah.
I love his game.
Yeah.
He really blew up against Colorado earlier in the year.
Yep.
What do you think about him?
Torrey's a great player. He's a guy who's humble. He's comes from the right things. He's a great player and a guy who's going to be a great NFL player. He's going to do great things this year at Colorado State, and I think he's going to improve his draft stock and be a high draft pick next year.
For
Let's get your opinion on it here before we get out of here. Of course, Trey McBride, the Cardinals tight end, out here on behalf of Wasserman Group, your great agency, talking to Field Yates, who does great work in fantasy football for ESPN. And I said, you were a McBride's maid early on.
Yes, sir.
Or is it a McBride or die? What do you prefer as far as like kind of your fan base, or what do you like? What's your favorite nickname?
You know, I'm kind of good with whatever. You know, there's so many that everyone is throwing out there. You know, I like it all, man.
Yeah.
You can fire them all at me and keep hitting them with me. It's so fun. But I just want to go out there, keep making plays for you guys, and continue to be a fan favorite here. So.
All right, my co-host is devastated. He's missing out on this Johnny Venerable. He's a true McBride's maid. So is Saul Bookman. He was I
was the president of the fan club.
Yeah.
Johnny was like an honorary member.
Yeah, it was trade A from day one for Saul Bookman. And I have to give the flowers there. But flowers to you on a great season, man. 80 catches, 800 yards. Now, absolute just a fixture now going forward for the Arizona Cardinals. Congratulations on all the success, man.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah,
go Cardinals,
sure.
baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eli saying McGoat, absolutely. You can add that to the nickname, I guess, rotation, right? McBride's maids, trade A.
I think we'll reserve GOAT for maybe another season or two. You know,
McGoat,
makes a Pro Bowl, and then we'll start saying McGoat.
Sometimes you're limited on time, right? But that's one of the things I did want that I missed out on asking him. Now that you bring that up, is like, I wonder how he feels to have his name now in the mix with the Kittles, the Hawkinsons. Sam Laporta was quick to the party this year for the Lions. But Trey McBride is right there. He's absolutely entrenched there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, he's going to be in the Pro Bowl before you know it. He's one of the best tight ends in the league. It's undeniable. The way he exploded in the second half of this season was just something that, honestly, it was one of the big joys of the season for sure. So excited to see his growth, and yeah, it's going to be fun moving forward.
I'm excited to open up every day the BetMGM app. And right now it's going to bet $5 and get $158 instantly Of course, all you have to do is download the BetMGM app. It's the official sports book of PHNX. You use that and sign up with the code PHNX, and you're going to get this offer, the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android. You can get by visiting BetMGM.com. Sign up with those $5, and you'll get that $158 once you get that promo code PHNX mixed in there after creating your account. $153 on us and BetMGM. Start to build that stack. Why not get in on maybe some college hoops, maybe some Suns basketball for the big game on Sunday, and start to, finalize your, NFL betting with a big dub, and do it with our friends over at BetMGM. Of course, you got to check the full show notes for all the details that you need. And now check out our guy Damon talk about it in the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
One of the places you can make a fantastic bet is at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. We've been there for our draft party, or not draft party, sorry, watch parties. Suns and Cardinals.
Is that a spoiler?
Yes, it is a spoiler. We are doing our draft party at Gila River Casinos, just so you know. But it's a fantastic resort. Not only just the gambling and the aesthetic there, they have a lot of different restaurants. The casino itself is just like Vegas. Any of the great ones in Vegas, you can't go wrong. They're a notch above the rest. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And visit play@Gila.com for more details on where you could stay at Gila River.
You used to only be able to get out to these resorts here in Vegas that have, the full sports book with the entire complement of everything you wanted to bet. And now it's 5 minutes from your house at Gila River Resort. It's unbelievable.
In Gila River, the great thing, and listen, this is not bullshit. Like I'm serious. Like I have a Gila River now, like literally right behind my house at Santan, the new location in Santan, right off of Riggs and Gilbert. That place is insane. It's not one of their bigger ones, but it is so beautiful. They got a bar with a 360 television screen of all the different games that are going on. You can't miss the action. You go there for UFC. You got a great seat in the house. They're showing all the fights, man. It's just fantastic. It's a great experience, for real.
It's a star-studded day out here at Radio Row in Vegas. And I was just finishing up saying, like, Vegas has lost a little bit of its luster because you don't have to drive 5 hours. But when you got McAfee right over there and J.J. Watt, Cam Newton was out here today. Like, the stars are out here, and it's fantastic, man.
You got Bo Brack out here.
That guy. I can't believe they continue to let me in with my credential. They almost
didn't. The circus on trying to get here today, like, folks, I'm not kidding you. It took us, it's about, a quarter mile maybe away, maybe a half mile away in the parking garage. Then you have to go through security on the outside, come back inside, walk another quarter mile to get downstairs, go through security again, and then come back another quarter mile. Like, by the time we actually got in the building, we walked a mile. Like, no bullshit. And I don't know what they were thinking about this setup, but everything is so far apart. I'm not a fan of that. Come on, NFL, you could do better.
See some good nicknames in there for Trey. Hannibal saying McBride's made for the win. We got Stepin saying McMania. We got PHX Valley Champ saying trade is okay, not like Kelsey or Kittle. Look, Trey is entering the conversation. Trey is on the rise. And I think, utilizing the 55th overall selection in the draft in 2022, he's showing what the Cardinals at that time envisioned. And the playmaking is very real. 80 catches, 800 yards at the tight end position is like you can't discount.
Is that seriously the barometer?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's like, he's not Michael Jordan, so
he's not Travis
sucks.
Kelce, the best tight end maybe ever.
I mean, like, that doesn't mean he won't grow to be similar or at least come close to those goals. But damn, man, we're just gonna knock the guy because he's not one of the best tight ends ever.
Yeah,
hey, that's a tough bar, man.
I like this one, Mike A. McBrick Shithouse, McWhat from Ben, and then Gang Nem Ent saying Trey, the next big tight end, TD Trey. I love them all. And, when we talked a little bit to Trey there about Marvin Harrison Jr., he seems pretty dialed in as far as the Cardinals and what they have in draft capital, which, he's not oblivious to what that could do for his game.
Hey, listen, he's not going to come out and say like how people should do their jobs, because that's not what he's going to do, and obviously we understand that. But if you don't think he doesn't want Marvin Harrison Jr. on the outside of him, you are high as shit, because he does. And that would be a fantastic 1-2 punch for the Cardinals. Not to mention who's going to be our soon next guest in James Conner. That trio right there, man, let's have our own version of the triplets.
When you establish the run like the Cardinals, like they commit to it, like heavily, like, and we can talk to James about this. In Pittsburgh, there was an emphasis on that. Like he was averaging just under 2 yards per carry in the first half, but they stuck with it. And Michael Carter was able to break one, and it kind of got him going there. And then, James went off in the second half and propelled them even more so to victory. But that was a big part of it. But you couple with what they do offensively in the run game and how they push around up front, and then the under center, conflict that Kyler Murray now creates, the play action. You got all that, and then you couple it with Trey McBride and then a potential outside playmaker. I mean, the Cardinals are this offense looks significantly better than we're looking at a year ago today.
Yeah, I think the complexities of the simple stuff.
Yeah.
And Chris was kind of talking about that yesterday.
Hilarious.
That was such a great little 15-second rant. But it's true. Like any formation you have, it doesn't have to be 4 wide receivers or having 2 on the line and then another 2 wide receivers 5 yards back of those 2 and being all complex. It could just be something simple to where you have like 50 different options to be able to run out of these sets. So I think that's what you're going to see from the Cardinals moving forward, and they're going to take a little bit. They're going to take more advantage of Trey McBride, next year and really getting him the ball, I think, a little bit more.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be that's the thing about what I loved about Sims. And we know it, watch him firsthand, and it's frustrating for a fan base to see Sean McVay and even Kyle Shanahan and what they do and how simplistic it can be. But this is a team that just really just kind of like, if they can get and really do what they do extremely well and be dialed in, and I think Philadelphia did that really well last year on both sides of the football. It's like they weren't reinventing. They weren't like the most innovative offense. Sure, like the push took off, and it's a big play, and it's a weapon, and it might go away. But, just doing the simple things at a high level and how impactful that is and how helpful that is to be, effective on offense and keeping defenses on their toes.
It's kind of like this. Honestly, it's like, we're doing all these interviews, and yeah, we can splice these interviews and throw highlights over the top of them and all that fancy shit. But you know what? Why?
Yeah.
Let's just keep it simple, keep it basic. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's effective enough, right? And I think that's what the fans want to see. They want to hear from the players that they love, like Trey. And so I think with this offense, you don't have to be so complex, because the athleticism from your quarterback alone is going to be able to open up so many different things for you that it's going to be complex by nature. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing I'm going to keep going back to. So
I think we got a few more minutes before James Conner. I believe he's probably
he's right here. How about that? Huh?
All right. James Conner coming over. He's hanging out with our friends over at Circle K. I think he's sitting down with us right now. There he is. Yeah. He says, "Uh-oh, I got to sit down with these knuckleheads." With the swag. What's up, man? Hey, James.
What's up, man? How's it going?
We good to roll?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sitting down with a nice. We talk about simple, right? The offensive concepts.
1 second.
But he's got a nice.
Oh, Trey and James right behind us. Look at that, huh? I wish we could just take this away, because they're just they're giving each other some love right now.
There it was. He is. He is. We were talking about simple and classic, and we got the nice Letterman jacket that James is rocking here.
This is a fly little getup right here, man.
I appreciate it.
And you're hanging out with our friends over at Circle K, am I right?
I am. Yeah, Circle K, man. Here with Circle K. Promoting the new Mountain Dew Purple Thunder.
Yeah.
I don't drink pop too much, but when I do, you already know.
That's the stuff right there, right? And you're like the facility out there in Tempe. You got a Circle K, to your left.
They stay all over the place, man. You can go find it easy at the local Circle K.
Yeah. He's part of our inner circle right here. There you go. One of the best running backs in the game. 1,000 yards this season, man. Congrats.
Yeah. Appreciate that, bro.
I know that was a big deal.
It was just been in the league for some time now. So my first one, just perseverance. Just not giving up, keep fighting. And everything just take care of itself. You just keep coming to work.
I love the professionalism. I love how humble you are as a player. It stands out, and your leadership was on full display this season, and how how much your teammates wanted to fight for you, and for you to have that moment, that 1,000 yards, it almost felt like it meant more to them than it did for yourself. But now having about a month since the season ended, have you been able to kind of let that resonate a little bit and what it truly means?
Yeah, for sure. You know, you just appreciate and pat yourself on the back for the work you put in, you know. And it was like my teammates know I go to fight for them, so that's why it meant so much, because they know I laid on the line for them. They don't ever have to question that. And so that's why it was something we celebrated all together.
Yeah. You guys celebrate the wins. No matter how they come and no matter what's going on, you guys, whether they're small or big, you got to celebrate the wins, right?
Small victories, for
sure. You know, and I think this season, obviously not the amount of wins that I'm sure you guys would have hoped for, but, man, I got to say, man, that record at 4-13 was just not something that was your typical kind of record.
Yeah, it didn't reflect that, right?
It didn't reflect that at all. Is that how you guys felt there? It felt like you guys were in every single game, battling, just a different kind of vibe and really setting the tone for moving forward.
Yeah, that's what it was, pretty much, just setting the tone moving forward. But, you know, the details matter and everything, and it's hard to win, you know. And even though we fought hard, we got to correct a lot of things. But early on, you know, when you're starting out with something new, there's going to be struggle in the beginning. And only a select few people understand that. For people who really go for something, you know, year after year and continuously come up short, but continue to fight still regardless, you know, you break through that struggle eventually, sooner or later. And so, you know, we had a struggle year, but the beautiful thing, we come back next year and correct things.
You know, 50 yards from here, J.J. Watt, your old teammate, was there. And it's like a year ago, you know, J.J. Watt had just retired, and you know, DeAndre Hopkins was still on the roster, and there was a turnover as far as some of the leaders in that locker room, and it seemed like you just took on that leadership role. Was that something that you really wanted to emphasize, or were you just like, I'm just going to do what I do, and then if people want to follow, they can follow?
No, I feel like it was intentional. It was intentional for sure, stepping up and realizing the piece that we missed is, you know, when Hop departed and when Watt retired, you know, you look around and you're like, okay, who's some of the older guys on the team and the guys who maybe been through some things. And so it's just something that I always wanted to do is, you know, be a leader and, you know, just step up to the plate regardless. And so, you know, I feel like I had to take on that role this year.
When it comes to that leadership, you know, we saw the viral clip of when JG got hired and him seeing Kyler Murray at the facility and them giving each other, you know, a hug and whatever and just being hyped about it. What was your first interaction with JG and what did he say to you?
Man, just asked me if I was ready to go. You know, that's his main thing. He just wants you to be ready. He wants you to know your assignment, know your details, and be ready. And, you know, I told him I'm ready and still getting ready. So, and that doesn't change.
Yeah.
That doesn't change.
At the end of the year, he said you're the blueprint of what you want from everything you want from a player. What's it mean after playing for him and going to war for him for 17 games or over a 17-game schedule? What did it mean to hear from that? That's the impression you made on Gannon.
Man, it was appreciated, you know, first and foremost, and it just lets you know you're doing the right things, man, because, you know, even with my injuries and things that I've had in the past, you know, it's a game of football. Those things are inevitable, you know, and I try to approach it and be available and be ready, you know, week in and week out. And sometimes that's not the case, but for him to see that and know that I'm still doing my routine day in and day out, you know, Monday to Sunday, to try to be ready for this team and put my best product out there on the field. It's nice to know that's appreciated.
You know, over the course of your career, it's been well documented, you know, the challenges that you've had, you know, off the field. But, you know, where did that dog come from? Like, like honestly, like seriously, I watch a game, and whether I'm into the game or not, if you know things are happening, all it takes is one of your runs to just kind of lay the thunder down on somebody. And you're just like, you want to get off the couch, like, yeah, get that dude. You know what I mean? With more colorful language in my house, but you know how it goes. You know what I mean? Like, where did that originate from?
Man, it's just it's football. You know, I feel like I don't want to say I'm old school, nothing like that, because, you know, it's been dogs way before me and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, man, it's a violent game. And so it's like you got to be strong and fast and violent playing the game. And so, man, I grew up like that. You know, I'm the youngest of 5. I got 4 older brothers. You know, you come up from school, put your bag down, and we wrestling and fighting until we go to sleep, you know. And so that's how I just approached the game when I first started playing. And every year, that's what gets me here, so I'm going to keep playing the same way.
You got that Jim Brown in you. I don't know if you noticed, but, you know, they used to say about Jim Brown when he would get tackled, he would just slowly kind of get up, and defenders would think, oh, yeah, we got him. And then he got up, went back to the huddle, and then you did it again.
Yeah.
Just, in like there was a couple times this season where I just felt like you laid somebody out, and I was just like, oh man, did he get hurt? Is he all right? And then you just kind of slowly got up, and you just and then laid the wood on him again, man.
Yeah, 60 minutes. You just let them know it's 60 minutes. It's a 60-minute ball game. So some people like to talk more than others, but we come to play every week.
Yeah.
Is it crazy that you're headed into the third and final year of your contract, and what do you want, from this next season and maybe beyond? Do you want to finish maybe your career here in the desert?
Yeah, man, the way I can't explain how I felt about Arizona, man. Just like so many questions. Obviously I kept my faith strong, but it was that time after when I left. Pittsburgh to be like a free agent on 1 year, it's like, what kind of player am I going to be in this league, and then to prove it again. And now going to year three, I'm going to show up to training camp in shape, strong, fast, and physical, and let everything else take care of itself.
Is that anything that you convey maybe to your representation and say, hey, like, let's get me locked in beyond this year?
The film tells it all.
Yeah.
So they can go back and watch all the games and see what I bring to the table, what kind of player I am, and make a decision for themselves if they want to go forward with that, or maybe play the last year out, or just we'll see. But I know what I can do.
What's the path moving forward like in terms of the team? Like, how are you feeling about the next steps? What would you like to see the team maybe do to set you guys up for better success moving forward?
Well, I can tell just from our last draft class, with Paris and all the other guys that they drafted. They're gonna do it right. I really trust and believe in Monty to the guys he gonna call their names. They're gonna be ready to impact us early and be good character guys and be people we can trust.
Yeah.
So I trust them.
One question about that, all right? And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but you see Jonathan Gannon, you see Monty, and the other coaches just grinding day after day, putting in that work, just like you guys are. That has an impact, right? Because there's not every set of not every regime is the same. I would just say it like that.
Hey, man, everybody handle their business differently. Yeah. At the end of the day, the business got to get handled. And some people put in more hours. Some people, do more research. Some people do, just approach business differently.
Some people fake hustle. I'm just saying.
Watt was over there, as I mentioned, and you guys, you had some legendary workouts, right? I mean, the Arm Barm Friday. Like, who are the new crop? Like, who's in the gym that you're impressed by now? Like, is it a Yelda guy or who?
Yelda.
Yelda's a beast,
Look no further. I want them to sign Yelda to a 10-year contract. I don't want him to go nowhere. Man, Yelda, Froholt, dog. I remember just, coming in there and seeing him, and he was front squatting. He had like 6 plates on each side, just front squatting for reps. And I'm just like, who is this guy? I never even heard of him before. And then just his athleticism. But the main thing is his work ethic, man. Like the way he approaches walkthroughs, practice, and in the weight room. Like when he's in the weight room, it's all business. And so, that's the guy. He got the crown in the weight room for sure.
I love those guys. Like, and even Trey is involved in that. Like, as far as the will, the want to be great run blockers. But talking to Yelda, talking to Paris, talking to Will Hernandez, like, that's a fun group, man.
Yeah, they go hard.
Yeah,
they go hard. They love the game. They good people. They love their teammates. And they professionals. They understand what it takes. They understand what it takes.
That's in the DNA in that building. Yeah,
for sure. That's why we said we getting through the struggles, but we coming for sure.
And it helps. It helps. When you're going through the tough times in the grind of the season and you're not getting the results, in the final score that you want to. It helps to know that everybody's rowing the boat in the same direction, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Knowing that we're on the same page and we got to, weed the people out who not going to want to be here and who not on the same mission that we are, because we definitely on a mission.
Absolutely.
We were sitting here a year ago today, and you were generous enough to talk to me and Saul and Johnny Venerable, and, you almost had to come to a defense of Kyler Murray back there. Like, he was on the mend. People were saying what we felt was unfair things about him in the media. And you, of course, came to the defense. Zach Ertz came to his defense. Rondell came to his defense. And then I feel like Kyler Murray let his game talk this year. Hollywood Brown, before he came back, said, Kyler Murray's not coming back to be average. What'd you see from K1 as QB1 in his return?
Yeah, you just seen somebody who's hungry. It was like a different aura, a different energy. Somebody who, like that Philly game, Chicago. We had a couple game stretches there. When it was really he was just getting his feet wet coming back. And it was big moments, fourth quarter drives and whatnot. And the way he was approaching it, you could see on his face the body language. No moment too big for him. He, you know, it was a lot. He's been through a lot. Really went through a lot this offseason. And so, man, we talk on FaceTime every day talking about, you know, the plans that we got. So, man, we excited.
Was that – I feel like that Philly game might be a bit of a turning point for him to kind of reinforce, like, dude, you are that dude. You know what I mean? Like, because, listen, you can say it all you want, but until you go out there on the field and prove it to yourself, because sometimes you might have doubts. Maybe, you know, the knee, can you trust the knee?
Yeah.
You know, can I still be the same player I was before? You know what I mean? But that Philly game, I felt like kind of not only changed it for him, but also changed it for the entire team. Like, okay, we're on track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was huge. That was a huge moment, you know, and you need those moments, you know, you know, just to keep you going and realizing that the work you put in is paying off. And like you said, you're still that dude. It's going to be highs and lows, but you got to stay even killed. But for our team, you know, that was a time when we weren't playing for the playoffs or nothing like that. We could easily just laid it down. Well, we just showed some resiliency. You know, JG was going back and long road trip, and we went there and pulled it out and fought 60 minutes. So it's definitely a turning point.
Remember that catch James had in the end zone?
Do I?
One arm?
Now.
For sure.
Where'd that come from?
Man, we practice that. You know, every time we leave a set, we always throwing the ball back and forth, you know. But, you know, I've been playing, it's pitch and catch.
Yeah.
You know, it's pitch and catch, truthfully. You know, Kyler gave me a great ball, not too hard, wasn't too high, nothing like that. Just put it right in front of me. It was not to be cocky, because y'all know I'm humble, but it was an easy catch. I'm serious.
You know, my favorite part about that is like as soon as you made the catch, you just kind of looked up into the crowd and you was like, yeah. And that's it. You know what I mean?
That was it.
Yeah, what else need to be said?
Any other plays stand out to you? You know, it was a strange play. The one you hurt your knee on, because it was unbelievable how you cut it back.
Yeah.
You got a block from Hollywood, and then you cut it down for 31 yards. And then, like Saul said, you know, sometimes you're slow, but you popped up. What? Like, did you know at the time you had injured yourself?
I felt something. You know, I reversed field and I was running, and the first defender went low. He just went real low, and my foot was just too much in the ground. Thankfully, it wasn't a tear.
Yeah.
I didn't tear it all the way. I was able to get my knee out the ground just in time. But he just went low, and I was still able to pop out of it, and I kind of felt something, and then I ran for like 5 more yards, and somebody else was coming low, and that's when I had to jump into the air because I didn't want to take another hit because I was already feeling something. Man, it's just one of them plays, man. You know, it's football. Anything can happen. But, yeah, heck of a run, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You did like 6 things that I can't do one of them. It's unbelievable. You had an incredible year, man. Congratulations on that. We're so excited to see what the future's about.
I think one of the cool things about what you do, Trey, Kyler, what you guys are implementing is like you guys are kind of establishing a new kind of feel in the fan base, to be honest with you, man. Like, you know, people will invest in people. And I think when people invest in a guy like you and your work ethic and what you stand about, man, that's a true blessing to have you on this team for sure.
I appreciate that. Kind words. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm in day 3 of Vegas. I'm going to need to guzzle some of this Mountain Dew, man.
You a 12-pack, bro. You can have this.
I'm going to be brushing my teeth with this Purple Thunder to give me some energy.
No doubt.
James Conner, 1,000-yard rusher, your Arizona Cardinals RB1 and leader in the locker room, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, brother.
It's always
appreciate you guys.
It's always
no
a pleasure.
No doubt.
Fantastic.
We share the same barber.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's our connection right there, man.
There goes JC. Unbelievable stuff from James.
I love that dude.
Yeah. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals somehow, like, they just luck themselves at times.
Man,
Sorry.
it's the only one,
We're
huh?
done. I'm going to bring it back.
They're taking it. I need it.
We got a whole case at the office there. We got you.
Thanks, guys. The whole crew setting that up. Circle K, Mountain Dew. It's unbelievable. James Conner, of course, out there, you know, where you can find that Mountain Dew's at Circle K, and you got to become a member of the Inner Circle. Do it right now. Get that free mobile app. It's a membership program. It's America's Thirst Shop. Download it right now, CircleK.com. You get all the details, but you can download the app, and you can start saving 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, 3 cents per gallon every day. We're going to hit the road trip it back to Phoenix. You know we're stopping at Circle K. You're going to save our 3 cents because we're already that deep into our membership. Get yours started. Get that 6 free selection of Circle K products, pizza, coffee, Polar Pops, the fountain drinks, the Mountain Dew. Don't miss out on that. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. Participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
In addition to that, when you go to Circle K, you can get yourself some Arizona lottery tickets because, listen, they're promoting this Arizona adventure. And all you got to do is they're introducing a unique new ticket and promotion called Arizona Adventure. There are 3 ways to play in this promotion. Here's one way. You play at Arizona Adventure lottery tickets featuring 3 iconic landscapes, Cacho Peak, Monument Valley, and Camelback Mountain. These tickets have prizes up to $50,000. You can also check in at geolocated adventures at 10 destinations across the state, from Flagstaff to Yuma, or you can visit www.azadventure.com for details and directions and check in with those coordinates. And just remember, the Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It is also about giving back to the state and its communities. Take an adventure with the Arizona Lottery. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure with the Arizona Lottery and for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes.
$1 million. Perfect. The chat going crazy about RB1.
Dude, I was hyped.
Yeah, absolutely. Ian saying James about to start jumping over fools with that going low on him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Didi just saying JC. Boosty saying, how can you not like that guy? Absolutely.
Seriously, man.
Couldn't agree more.
Again, there's just a quiet confidence about James Conner.
And Trey.
Yeah. It feels like, listen, I think that the fan base is going to start to identify, if they already have, with the players that they know are all about that grind. They got that dog in them, and they want to go to battle every single week with their teammates. And I think what's starting to happen is like the DNA of even the fan base is starting to change because they want to root for these guys. And so 4-13, yeah, okay, it's not the greatest record in the world for sure. But this 4-13, I'm telling you, is a different 4-13 than you've ever seen before. And they're onto something really, really promising moving forward. I cannot wait, as you mentioned before, for the future and really this offseason to see what they're going to be able to do to put together to take this team to another level. And really, playoffs should not be out of the realm of possibility. We've seen teams flip it around quickly before. I think this team could do that based on, hopefully what we expect to happen in the offseason and shoring up some of those the shortcomings.
I like the diversity of this organization, right? I mean, as far as just the cast of characters, we talked about the offensive line. Like they're a fun, colorful group, right?
Yeah.
They like to have fun, but they also are nasty. They got a nasty streak to them. And then you got James Conner, who's like a leading by example. And you see the infrastructure being put in place by the decision makers now, and Monti Ossenfort, and especially Jonathan Gannon. And that's all well and great, but you need self-starters too to get it going. And they can't just lead everybody where they need to go. And it seems like between James, Kyler, Trey, Buda Baker, they're getting those guys that are going to continue kind of lead the charge along with their new head coach.
Yeah, I totally agree. Again, the DNA, and I think, when you talk to Monti, and I'm sure maybe you've asked him this. I don't know. I don't listen to every single episode, interview you do, but I think when you're at the combine and you're interviewing prospects, the question that I always wonder is, do they ask this guy, does he love ball?
Yeah.
And what kind of response are you getting from these guys? And I think I would be shocked if Monti doesn't not only ask that question, if he understands what kind of response he's really looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think there's something to that DNA. The Patriots have had that for decades, right? And I think when you're looking at Monti, I would be shocked if he didn't have something that he's keying in on in terms of their response, because you have to love this game. And I think the ones that we really, really rally around love this game to an nth degree. We've had Dortch in studio. When Dortch talks about, playing for this team, playing this sport of football, there's a certain excitement that comes through his voice. There's just something in his brain that's telling him bro, this is what I'm all about.
Right.
This is who I am. And you have to have those kind of dudes. And so when you have a James Conner come through the set and talking about this, you can feel that.
Right. It's you can definitely tell. In love ball is that's something that JG says all the time. And then you think of the people who were cast off from this organization. It showed over several seasons that they didn't love ball, and that they're weeding those players out, and they're bringing in players that do. Somebody who loves ball. Comedian Frank Caliendo. When we talk about, the trajectory potentially for the Arizona Cardinals, Frank gives us a glimpse as far as maybe what a Cardinals Super Bowl championship might sound like from a very popular sports broadcaster that's on the call this year. Plus, Jonathan Gannon's going to get the Morgan Freeman treatment. Don't miss it. Here's our interview that Saul and I did with the hilarious Frank Caliendo. Hanging out here at Radio Row, Las Vegas, and we found our guy, Frank Caliendo, friend of PHNX Sports. He's a big PHNX Wildcats guy.
He is.
Mike Luke.
He backs the A.
Wait. Wait, my son goes to ASU. My daughter's about to go to ASU. But I'm entertained by Mike Luke. That's just it.
Who is it?
Who is Mike Luke?
No, who isn't entertained by Mike Luke?
I missed the isn't. No, I'm still trying to figure out what he's doing most of the time. But yeah, definitely.
We got to get you a flat brim hat, and you guys can just do the show back to back.
That's not a flat brim. That is the equator. That I've never seen. I told him about that. Does that hat fit you? There's no way that hat fits you. It can't be the lens. Whatever you're doing, do something different, because that's the most insane. Let's get you a beanie or stocking cap kind of thing or something. Because I don't know what it's like. That's the only thing I can concentrate on, as he's giving me 4,000 stats that nobody's ever heard or been. They're not even finished being researched yet, and Luke has them ready to go.
Well, you're making the rounds here at Super Bowl Radio Row. What is your vibe so far? Like, what's the big thing going on?
I don't really know. I got here early this morning because I had talked to some people. It's funny. You get into an elevator, you get an escalator, you see somebody, the program director of a show, and they're like, hey. And I wanted to go on for Dallas this morning, so I got here at like 5. I got here at 6 a.m. and then the day passes weren't printing out and stuff like that. So I'm mentally just trying to get. Nobody was even here. There were maybe 4 different people here, because when it's on the West Coast, which I'm considering this at least West Coast time, I'm the only idiot coming in that early. So there were maybe 5 people at tables that early, because they know most guests aren't coming through. And it's just filler, so people are usually doing stuff at home or remote broadcasting, or just doing some interviews here and there. So what's the vibe? I don't know. I think these are the filler days, Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday sometimes, where other people come in and then just kind of the stars aren't here yet, and that's why I'm useful. As like I can fill some time for people, and then when the the huge names come through, the Hall of Famers or the broadcasters, they parade everybody through. Then it starts to amp up. So I think it's a laid back vibe until about Thursday or Friday, and that's when it picks up, and it seems like a totally different thing.
You're out at the Desert Ridge Improv later this week, February 10th.
Sold out, Jim. You don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You can plug it.
I just wanted to,
I just want
relate
people to
to
know
our
what
Valley
they can't get to.
You're in AZ on February 10th at Desert Ridge. But when you come to Vegas, do you think back to when you were a young comedian and just coming to this town for the first time?
Well, I think maybe the first time I came to this city was with Bad TV. We came as a cast trip. And I don't think I'd ever come to Vegas before that. So I was probably 25 years old-ish. I'm not a big drinker or anything. So it was. We went and saw, I can't even think of his name. We saw Tom Jones. We saw some of the classic Vegas stuff. Threw some underwear at him. But yeah, I mean, this city's about my kids, because I was here for like 2 years doing like a residency. My kids grew up for a couple of years here a lot, which is awful when they learn to read. So, why did they say girls 3 times?
Live.
Girls, yeah.
What is live nude? Yeah.
So I just take it. I'm heading out actually in a little bit. I'm just here for this quick little jaunt to do some stuff. So people want me to come out and do a quick thing here or there. I said sure, and then I see friends and talk to them, and that's about it.
Obviously, you've done impressions of people in the Cardinals organization. Have you been able to follow the team at all? What has been your impression of Jonathan Gannon and crew?
Oh, well, that deer in headlights that he started out as. But I think it seems like he's getting things in order. They really started to shape up. I think they're coming along. I think it's hard whenever it's a new regime. Everything's totally different. Kyler looks like he's on track. If Kyler gets on track, Houston playing so well
Yeah.
this year was rough because that was a draft pick, I think, that the Cardinals were really hoping to get, a higher pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, it's such a mix and match. I don't try to play remote GM at all, so I just...
You're dialed in, though.
I know a little. I know enough,
Yeah.
just enough to look like I know enough. But we'll see. I mean, I'm looking for. There's nowhere to go but up, really.
Yeah.
Really. So, but they look like they have their stuff buttoned up and a little bit more together. It's all when you talk to some of these teams, GMs, whether it's or even people who are report on the teams. It's like if you can figure out how to get your team to run like a machine. You're in business, and there's just so many moving parts, so many different things, and you take a look at the Chiefs. You look at the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs are a team that they have it all together, and then they get a quarterback that works, and that seems to be a key. They got a coach that works. You get they coach the quarterback. And you start building around it. They don't even have the pieces they've had in the past.
Yeah.
They're beatable.
Yeah.
I mean, at times, people keep asking me who am I rooting for, and I'm like, I think I'm kind of rooting for the 49ers here. And I know that's a sin in Arizona, but I like although Brock Purdy out of
Gilbert.
From Perry and Gilbert Perry, dialed in that much. That I like that story, and I think of him as like I know he's 26, 28 years old, but he plays like a quarterback who's in the second half of his career. Like he doesn't have the arm he used to, although this is just where he's at. He doesn't have a bad arm. He just doesn't have Patrick Mahomes' arm. He can't run like Lamar Jackson, but he can run.
Yeah.
He can do some stuff. And he, for some reason, seems to make some boneheaded young guy kind of plays. But at the same time, he also makes throws that people are like, how did he? I've seen Dan Orlovsky talk about it.
Yeah.
How did he make that play?
Right.
How did that ball should not be able to go into that window?
Right.
How did he do that? And I think I kind of want to see Shanahan win. And I feel like the Chiefs are just going to keep getting here.
Yeah. Do you do Mahomes impression?
Yeah, man. I mean, you just kind of throw together, and you just sound like you're really excited about everything. And I'm great to be here and talking to you guys. And I thought it was really, really great. And I got my hands in my pockets, and then there you go.
I got to think when the calendar switched over to 24, you were pretty excited. I mean, you've got another CBS Super Bowl, so you got Romo, and then you got an election year.
Oh, that's going to be really, really good, Jim. It's here we go. Romo is always like the car being revved up. Jim. And he went from knowing everything that was going to happen to knowing almost like he doesn't know about football. Like he got hit in the head in a 80s sitcom, and his memory of football got lost, but he's still the analyst, the lead analyst for sure. What's he going to do here, Jim? This is I don't know what he's going to do here, Jim. Let's go to our resident kicker, Jay Feely.
Obviously, Jonathan Gannon's from Cleveland, Ohio. Several years ago, it's been a while, you did an impression of Morgan Freeman and the letter from LeBron.
Right, yeah.
I wanted to see if possibly you would do the same thing about him coming to the desert and trying to revive this franchise, being from Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, it's a long way from Cleveland. The seasons are quite different. Jonathan Gannon loaded up that truck and headed toward Beverly Hills, but ended up in Phoenix, Arizona.
That's as good as I can do.
Fantastic.
Can I ask you for one more favor?
Yeah.
I mean, Kyler Murray, as you said, played pretty well at the end of the season. Can we get maybe a Tony Romo, Jim Nantz winning Super Bowl call of Kyler Murray?
Oh, Jim, he's scrambling around. He's running in circles, and nobody can see it because he's only 2 feet tall. Here we go, Jim. Tony. Oh, Jim, I'm going to go put on my Skechers.
Frank Caliendo, folks, so much appreciate you, gentlemen.
Sure, thank you.
I was so discombobulated by that ending that I didn't know how to end the fucking bit.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff
like,
from
oh my
Frank.
God.
Yeah, we wear a badge of honor that he's a Valley native now, and he roots for the local teams.
Yeah.
And big U of A guy. Loves he pays attention to the Cardinals. He has a legendary Bruce Arians impression that started when he was the head coach of the Cardinals. So he's in town February 10th. He said it's sold out, but hopefully you got tickets to see him at the Desert Ridge Improv.
That's what Game Time's for.
He's a yeah. That is what Game Time's for.
Look at Damon.
Good job.
Plug God.
Not only that, but like he's a genuinely like cool dude. Like
Yeah.
Frank Caliendo is just one of
You
of
guys
our
talked
favorites.
ball for like half hour.
Literally, we were over here by the entrance, and I just I wanted to talk to him and introduce myself because I know he's been on Mike's show. He's a big Mike Luke guy, and the next thing I know, I'm talking about the entire roster for Arizona basketball for like 20 minutes, and it was fantastic. It was good stuff.
When you guys were having that conversation, I couldn't even keep up with all that Caliendo knew.
He's a big KJ Lewis fan.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Make sure you like this video. Everybody just crush it in the chat. Jules saying, PHNX, I love y'all. Red Sea, baby. Red Sea. Somebody saying, it was Hank saying, Mad TV was fire.
Yeah.
I remember Frank. That's really where he hit the scene with his Madden impression. But, man, it's been a banner day. Man. Another one, back-to-back days. Yesterday you had Chris Sims. If you missed that interview, it's on our YouTube page.
Yep.
Also, Trevor Sikkema giving you the most comprehensive insight you're going to get on the NFL draft and what the Cardinals can do.
In addition to that, we've made it as easy as possible for you. We have segmented these interviews into little clips, so that way if you don't want to digest the entire hour and a half from yesterday, for instance, you can just take the little bite-sized portion with Chris Sims and some of the topics. We're going to have some more rolling out periodically today. But, Bo, man, nice job today.
Thanks,
man.
bro.
You've done a good job getting these guests and rounding up James Conner and Trey McBride. It's been fantastic.
I feel the love, but do you feel a little hate close by?
Oh, it's coming.
Do you feel that?
The storm is coming.
You feel Florio just like 25 feet from us?
Can we get the camera on him? Can we get the camera on him? Hey, Marissa, can you turn the camera? Could somebody tell her to turn the camera to Florio so we can get him on camera?
Yeah, he's
That'd be
looking over here now. But
move away.
He's looking over. He's not enthused. He doesn't like it.
Yeah, move it to Florio.
Marissa's like, what's going on? Maybe it's time that...
Well, maybe. Nobody listens to our show, so it's okay. It's all good. Don't worry about it, Marissa. It's all good. Thank you.
If you missed James Conner, if you missed Trey McBride, if you missed
I thought you were talking about John
Frank Caliendo, you can find, as Saul said, all those interviews are going to be posted shortly here on our YouTube account, and Frank Caliendo is already up if you missed the hilariousness. Tomorrow, Michael Wilson's going to join us, and so will one Johnny Venerable. He's going to make his way through the desert. Yaya's making it happen. Yaya's trying to get it going. Does he have to sign a release, or is he good that we're just going
to... he's in the space. It's all that matters.
Is it happening?
Oh, yeah, it's there. It's there.
There he is.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly,
RG just stands in the way.
That's exactly how we like it there. There you go. This is your distasteful moment of zen.
We will talk to everybody on Thursday. Thanks for tuning in on this Wednesday edition of PHNX Cardinals. Subscribe wherever you find podcasts. Leave a review and a rating. 5 stars, of course. For Saul Bookman, Damon Dog, Mac Perkins, I'm Bo Brock. Talk to y'all soon.
We all silly like the mayor.